Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ERC Masters Round 10, Season 15, here at a very wet Italy. Monza, to be exact. And it's absolutely belting it down. Something we don't normally see in Italy, particularly at Monza. Always usually quite nice, but definitely having a downpour as we speak, looking down into the pits. Some reason my stream is not working. Just bear with me. It should be. If there's anybody actually watching the stream, could you tell me if it's working? Because I've got nothing. Oh, there we go. There we go. We are on screen now. So yeah, been a very, very warm day here in Cheshire. Best it has wherever you are in the UK. It's been mid-20s today. Lovely. Been doing a few people's gardens and caught the sun because I'm sat here with my pyjama bottoms on and after sun all over my back. But here we are. We've got, I think there's 9 drivers on the grid tonight. Yeah, 9 drivers. All got to do with the game, really, and a few little issues. But the new game will be out in a couple of weeks' time. Hopefully, be the best one yet. Talking about tonight's race, Bird's win last week increased his lead at the top of the championships, and XO's runner-up also sort of increased Aston Martin's grip on the construction. We'll run through the actual championships in a moment before the race. But we have got in McLaren tonight XO driving solo. Smugget is also driving solo for the Ferraris. Red Bulls, though, currently P4 in the championship. We've got Captain Morgan and All Gold. Now they're only 40 points behind your leaders. So that's good for the Red Bulls. We're on board with XRT inside. One shot qualifier here tonight. Currently P7 for XRT inside. Jelly's top at the moment. Inside up to P6. Go briefly P5. Jelly still top with Bird or Gold. Smugget, your top 4. Inside drops to P7. Bird still leading from Gold and Smugget. As they're going round into Ascari. All on inters, as you can see on your track map. No, that wasn't. That was a little Ascari we got through, actually. Now we're on the DRS straight. Obviously, no DRS in the rain. We will be using ERSO, which is battery deployment, which is, if you look in the centre of your screen at the bottom, it's like a little centre console, and it's on 25 at the moment. 24, that is the power that's in the battery. But now coming down past Ascari and then the straight before the Parabolica. Inside still P6. All Gold is provisional pole at the moment with Bird and Smugget. Coming into the start finish straight, and it's All Gold with 1:27.938. Well done, Mr. All Gold, with a pole. That's there's not many times All Gold's been on pole while I've been on comms, and that's nice to see. Chuffed to air, well, I am. Hiya, Sophie. Sophie's in the chat. How are you, my dear? Hope you're well. How's things in Guatemala? Right, then we'll run through your pole sitter now, which is all gold in the Red Bull. And then alongside him, fellow South African ERC Bird in the Aston Martin. And then P3 is DRS Nugget in the Ferrari. Jelly in the Mercedes. P4. P5 is Captain Morgan O'Beard in the Red Bull. P6 XRT inside on the Haas. 7 Kenny's Ghost in Mercedes. EXO in the McLaren. And Mr. Scartrix in the Williams is P9. But if you can see there, 5 South Africans. Pretty great to see. Absolutely brilliant. I thought they'd been sitting around the bay instead of racing. I hope. Yeah, I'm not so bad at all. Thanks, Sophie. I've had a busy day doing gardens for some. My missus works for a care company, and obviously the houses where they house the service users, and I go around cutting the gardens and doing the edges and what have you. So I've been doing that today, catching a bit of sun. Anyway, the rain looks to have stopped. I don't know what it's given out for the race, but it's overcast still. Yeah, we'll run through them teams again. McLaren have got EXO driving solo. Ferrari have got Smugget. Also, solo. Red Bulls have got Captain Morgan and Orgo. Like I say, that's going to be good for the Red Bulls. They are 41 points behind Aston Martin with 2 drivers. Could be balling their court soon. Mercedes got Kenny's Ghost and Jelly. Mercedes, unfortunately, are down in P9. Nobody in the Alpines, and Aston Martin have got Bird. Aston Martins are currently top of the constructors. Haas have got XRT inside. No Racing Bulls, no Saubers, and the Williams solo represented by Scar. Phil. Championships. Bird leads on 243. Liam Hardman 198. EXO 193. We've got XRT inside in P4 on 133. Captain Morgan on 123. All Gold, your pole sitter tonight is on 112. MK7 on 109. Scar on 95. Smugget 92. Business Casual 83. Jelly on 78. Kenny's Ghost 76. Ellison 65. Fine Waldo 58. Kevin Chin on 50. PDMB 47. Master Bear 44. Tiny 33. Nathan McIntyre 29. And Bush Big makes up the top 20 on 21 points. So yeah, Bird's victory last week at Zandvoort increased his lead over Liam. Liam only managed a 5th place. EXO second closed his gap on Liam, only 5 points behind Liam, and Liam not here tonight. So chance for EXO to go P2 in the championships, and the constructors close. Aston Martin 276, Williams 256. So only 20 points between them. Then another 6 points to Racing Bulls in P3 on 250. Then the Red Bull team on 235. Sorry, Aston Martin is leading. Did I say Aston Martin? McLaren? Don't know. McLaren are 5th on 225. Ferrari 195. Haas 179. Alpine 132. Mercedes 89. And the Saubers have gone 10 rounds without scoring a point in the Constructors' Championship. So the Italian Grand Prix at Monza has been held 94 times since it joined the F1 calendar in 1921. Michael Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton both have 5 wins, and the Ferraris have 21. Each lap is 5.793 kilometres or 3.60 miles. 100% race, which is 53 laps, is 306.720 kilometres or 190.596 miles. shouldn't be long now before cars are on the grid. This week sees my final round in the F2 Championships with SRC. I think I'm currently 18th, in the championship. Last round at Las Vegas. Practice has gone quite well. Then my F1 career starts soon as well, as I will be cutting down on the comms this next year. I'll tell you what I'll do before things start proper. I'll just go down and get my charger because my headphones just made a bleep sound. So I'll just be 2 minutes, won't be a second. So I missed the start of the formation lap, led by your pole sitter All Gold. Just plug this in and then you've got me full attention. So All Gold here, as I say, is your pole sitter. Just two choices of tyres being picked tonight by the drivers. All Gold's on the hards. Bird in the Aston Martin also on the hards. Smugget in the Ferrari. Let's hope he has a bit more luck this tonight. Smugget is in the Ferrari on mediums. Then we've got Jelly in the Mercedes also on mediums in P4. Captain Morgan in the Red Bull on hards. XRT inside on mediums. Kenny's Ghost in the Mercedes on mediums, EXO on hards, and Scar bringing up the rear in P9, also on the medium tyre, which would be my choice. But like I say, great to have All Gold on pole. I'm pretty sure it's first time I've commed when All Gold has been your pole sitter. Maybe at once. I'm pretty sure it's first time I've actually been on comms and All Gold's been pole. Right, we are awaiting. Interesting, the stream got me 2 or 3 minutes behind, but anyway, we'll go on board with Bird. We'll be chasing down the Red Bull of All Gold as the lights go out now, and they're away. All Gold holding his own with Bird not really making any impression on the Red Bull. Let's have a look down. Smugget's coming alongside Bird as we're coming into turn 1, which isn't very nice if you're side by side back with somebody. But Bird, tremendous entry from the corner, and that's the Aston Martin up to P2. We've got Jelly in P4, inside up to P5, Captain Morgan P6, EXO up to P7, Kenny's Ghost P8, and Scar down in P9 in the Williams. Back up to your leaders coming down, looking at small Ascari. It's the Red Bull of All Gold going slightly wide there, and Mr. Bird not going for a move, just putting the Red Bull under a lot of pressure. Sophie, would you like to tell me what our Phil's up to? Seven seconds behind the field. What is his what is his game? What's he up to? What's his idea? What's he playing at? All gold, leading him into Parabolica for the first time with Bird, Smugget in P3 and Jelly P4. We've got inside Captain Morgan, Axel, Kenny's Ghost and Scar. As all goals with the fastest lap on the first lap. Look at Smugget on the outside in the Ferrari. Gets past Bird, but pulls alongside the Red Bull. Bird's got tremendous round. What's the word I'm looking for? Tremendous path through that turn 1 and 2 there. I'd have bumped into people. I'm not sucking up to Bird. Just it was brilliant. Scar is out. Scar has retired in the pits. Oh, Scar is having a bit of trouble from the game, and that's why he has retired. Unfortunate. So we are down to 8. Looking from Ascari, we see the Red Bull followed by the Ferrari and the Aston Martin, Mercedes, Haas, McLaren, Red Bull and Mercedes. So 2 Mercedes left in and 2 Red Bulls. Here comes Smugger having a look on the inside of the Red Bull. 53 laps we've got tonight. Almost 2 done. And I'm going to take my shirt off. Right, okay, thanks Sophie. Axel with the fastest lap there in P6. As Smugget takes the lead with 4, 5 cars wide, and Phil's car was stuck there. Don't know why the game's done that. But anyway, Smugget leads from Bird now in P2. All goes down to P3. XRT inside P4 in the Haas with Jelly, Exo, Captain Morgan and Kenny's Ghost. It's Mr. Smugget. Come on, fingers crossed for Smugget. The Ferrari's not had the best of luck this last few weeks. I will see you shortly, Sophie. Thanks for joining, Mal. Speak to you soon. All my love to Phil. Smugget growing out a bit of a gap now on Bird. Not much change in behind. To Smugget. Go on. He's had some bad luck this last few weeks. If there's anyone I would want to win, it would be him. But coming down the start-finish straight, 6th, 10th is his advantage over Bird. Round Parabolica into start-finish straight, and Smugget in P1 with Bird in P2. We'll jump on board with Bird. I don't think he's going to put down the gap on the Ferrari. Here comes Jelly on the Haas of inside. Thinks about the move, thinks twice, just settles in behind the Haas. Exo in P6, Captain Morgan and Kenny's Ghost bring out the field of 8. Smugget leads from the Aston Martin, the Bird and all gold. And these 3 pulling out our gap that inside will not be on DRS. Unless he gets within that 1 second. The Aston Martin of Bird will pick up DRS here as they go underneath that really scruffy bridge. Needs some paint, does that bridge. Has a little look, putting pressure on Smugget. Just keep focused, Smugget. Ooh, loses the back end of it, and that gives Bird the advantage and the Red Bull of all gold. And Smugget, a little mistake, as all gold takes the lead from Bird and Smugget, and all gold retains the lead they held a previous lap. So these 5 all in close contention. And we'll jump on board with inside. Looking back on Smugget, who's looking back on Bird. Here comes Smugget for a move. That will be Miss Jelly's overtake on inside. Oof, God, it is close racing. A little bit of tyre bumping. That's XRT inside down to P5, Jelly up to P4, Smugget 3, Bird 2 and all gold the lead we look back from a small Scary as the Red Bull approaches and navigates that chicane. The bird not really applying, just putting pressure on All Gold. Coming into the Scary now, and then straight before the Parabolica. I'm just going to make myself comfy. Go on board with third, looking at the back, the Red Bull, making third, 213 miles an hour. The Aston Martin reached along the start-finish straight. Very scary going through turns 1 and 2. Down 3-7. Ghost from the Mercedes putting pressure on the McLaren Alexo. Down into small Scary. The bird who leads half a second advantage over All Gold. Some will get all over the back of the Red Bull. And it just putting pressure. The DRS flat of the Red Bull opens up. Whereas Snugget pulls alongside. Does he make the position before Scary? Yes, he does. Goes a little bit wide, but pick up a warning after that hit. And inside, and Captain Morgan get past Jelly, and Exo also passes Jelly. Jelly's made a bit of a boo-boo of a Scary. Teammate Kenny sits in behind Jelly as he comes down to start from the straight. For the 6th time. Well, 7th time. Bird that leads from Snugget inside with a 1:23.7 is the fastest lap. Currently in P4 is inside, he's reaching 206 miles an hour, so he brakes quickly. They come into turn 1 and 2, but it comes up to you pretty quick. On board with Jelly and Kenny. Then back on the bird with the Rough. On their merry way on to lap 7. Bird leads Snugget. All Gold in P3, but not much. They're all within DRS of each other. Bird has the biggest advantage of anybody because he's in front. And he leads them down into the DRS straight before a Scary. Bird from Smugget looking down from the Parabolica, which is the final corner of the circuit. 8 cars, sorry, are in screenshot there. Screenshot. Red Bull of Captain Morgan looking ominous on inside, but we'll just move up to Smugget, who does the fastest lap. There's Exo. Now then. Smugget leads from All Gold inside. Exo already up to P5, getting past Captain Morgan, Jelly and Kenny's Ghost. So good move from Mr. Slow. Inside in P4 with All Gold. Mr. Smugget chasing down the Aston Martin of Bird, and Jelly has got past Captain Morgan. Coming to smaller Scary. Captain Morgan not giving up the Ghost on that though. Putting pressure already again on to the back of the Mercedes of Jelly. And then we've got Kenny's Ghost in P8, but not out of it. Say 15 valuable points if you can finish 8th, which will do yourself and your team a lot of good, as Jelly is the first driver to pick up a penalty of 3 seconds. multiple warnings about track limits. Bird though leads them round. I think Smudgett could be close enough with DRS now. Yeah, I think he is. I think Exo is as well. Exo, even before DRS, is taking P4 from inside. We'll move on to Smudgett. I don't think he's going to make it. So Bird been using his power. We can see that Aston Martin and the Ferrari side by side on board with all gold. And Bird does get some good exits out of Ascari. Exo in P4, XRT inside with Captain Morgan Jelly and Kenny's Ghost. Kenny just falling a little bit behind his teammate, coming into small Ascari. And that gap is near enough closed as well. But Bird leads. Go back onto your normal camera angle as we look down the DRS straight before Ascari. And just want your thoughts on this bridge. Look at the state of that bridge. Certainly needs some paint. There goes Bird with Smudgett and Allgold. You're leading 3 cars. Ooh, Smudgett, well, a little bit wide. Would have picked up a warning there, I should think. So again, all 8 cars in shot as they come into Parabolica for the 9th time. Is Smudgett close enough? Captain Morgan 123.107. Here goes Smudgett, 212 miles an hour. Ooh, I'll go to stand on the brakes there then. And that's given the McLaren of Exo an open window. And that's Exo up to P3, is it? He's coming to small Ascari on board with all gold, looking at the back of the McLaren. And we'll have to brake quick. XRT inside, Captain Morgan, Jelly and Kenny. But got a bit closer, did all go to the back of Exo for my liking. No contact made, just had me pressing my imaginary brake pedal here. Go back up to Bird, chasing down Smudgett. Look at the state of that bridge. It really is a monstrosity. I'd go paint that bridge for £100 a day. Bird has pulled out a little gap of over a second to Exo, because Exo could miss out on DRS along the start-finish straight now, which will give all gold a little advantage. We're on Bird with Bird, or we're on Bird with board. Well, we're on board with Bird. 211, 12, 13, 230 mile an hour, but he has to brake quick coming into the first corner. And all gold has got past Exo. XRT inside, Captain Morgan, Jelly with a penalty, and then Kenny's Ghost. But 2 seconds separates first from 8th. Into small Ascari. Smudgett leads from 3rd. All gold, Exo, XRT inside. Captain Morgan, Jelly out, Mr. Ghost. Sorry for yawning down the mic. Bird doesn't make any rational moves. He just puts pressure on the driver in front until he's got. He doesn't gamble on moves. He's any aspiring young driver. Ooh, Jelly was well out the white line there. Yeah, any aspiring young drivers out there? They know the right way to drive. Won't go far wrong in watching how Bird drives as we go on board with him. Pulls alongside the Ferrari quite early on in the DRS straight. And that's him up to the lead. Smudgett settles in, and then all go heavy on the brakes in P3. Exo in P4. Excited inside, Captain Morgan, Jelly and Kenny's Ghost. Nothing at all between your 8 surviving drivers. Kenny's Ghost comes into small Scary for the 12th time. Ooh, Bird. Back end loose as a goose in the Aston Martin. Lovely sound as them cars pass the camera, and they're all sort of equally spread out. Your top 7. Ghost getting a bit left behind now. See, Bird leads from Smudgate and All Gold's top 3. Going around the Parabolica to the start finish straight. And the Aston Martin leads Bird with 1:23.1. Here's your fastest lap with Gone Bird with Smudgate. He uses DRS, but unfortunately not close enough for the move on Bird. It's a lovely shot there of all the cars coming around first and second corner. 2 Mercedes getting a little bit there between themselves and P6 Captain Morgan. I think the Red Bulls will go into P3 on the Constructors' Championship if they both survive tonight. To make things very interesting going into round 11 next week in Bahrain. There we go, they're all 8 cars in view coming down into Parabolica, and the Red Bull of All Gold has a little look on Smudgate. Definitely close enough for the move now, but will Smudgate be close enough? Captain No Beer gets past XRT inside on the start finish straight. Let's go up to Smudgate, who has the Red Bull of All Gold coming down, and that's All Gold up to PT, but Smudgate a bit late on the brakes, might have caught the back of Bird's Aston Martin, but all's good. Jolly bit out of shape there coming out of turn 2, I think. But, Mercedes definitely have something the matter at the moment. It's a setup or along the lines, but they're definitely both falling behind now from the main group. And All Gold is falling behind from your leader as Jelly picks up his second warning. No, it's not a warning, it's an actual penalty. To see Smudgate in the Ferrari having a look at the Red Bull. Bird trying to get away, put a bit of a gap between himself and the rest of the pack. But look how the Mercedes have dropped off the pace. To say Bird leads as they go in the start finish straight for the 15th time on 53. And Jelly is pit. Running 2, 2 and 1. No overtakes as such, but a lot of gaps have been. Oh, there goes a spin from All Gold. So All Gold dropped from P3 down to P7. A little lack of concentration, and that's All Gold spun from 3rd to 7th. Jelly has put a fresh set of hards on. Interesting from the Mercedes. Virgo leads. Certainly out of DRS on Captain Morgan now. Going down straight into Ascari. And as it is, Captain Morgan is just inside DRS. There's a good shot of EXO there, currently in P5. There's Bird down the start finish straight now to start lap 16. I think Bird is going to be caught inside in P3 now. We'll get down to P4. We missed Spuggett's demise to P4. Must have made a mistake somewhere. So our cars safely passed start finish line to start lap 16. Jelly is 20 seconds adrift. I'm going to make a note of that, see if he does catch up. So that was lap 16. We'll see in a couple of laps time. As Exo and Smugget battling out for P4. No DRS for Exo, but Smugget gets a good fistful and bridges the gap on McLaren. So from Parabolica looking down the straight after Ascari, and it's Bird from Captain Morgan inside Exo, Smugget, Kenny's Ghost, All Gold and Jelly just coming down that DRS straight into Ascari. Let's see him go around here on them new hards. Not bad for the Mercedes. Bird though, going down into turn 1 on the All Gold and XRT inside Exo. And we've got Smugget and Kenny's Ghost, All Gold, and Jelly just entering the start finish straight. Now, the Bird leads as we just approach the third of the race gone. The Bird leads from Captain Morgan in P2 in the Red Bull and XRT inside in the Haas. P3 and a little bit of a gap opening up between himself and the McLaren of Exo. Smugget dropping down to P5. I'm going on board with Smugget, see what lap time he's doing to his fastest lap. Comes into the checkpoint now and he's only half a second down on his quickest lap, so still plenty of work left in them tyres. Kenny's go to P6 with All Gold and Jelly, who is still 6/10 behind his fastest lap time set, obviously on the mediums. So not doing too bad with our Jelly. But Bird leads him now, start of lap 18 from Captain Morgan. The field definitely getting stretched now, there's nowhere anywhere near an overtake. Would be Kenny's Ghost and All Gold. Dropped as well down into P7. That was from that mistake after turn 2 a couple of laps ago. Jelly not making any impression on All Gold, actually he's dropped a second from the split time a lap ago. But All Gold putting pressure on Kenny's Ghost coming into small Ascari. Field definitely getting spread out a bit now. And your nearest battle on track is All Gold and Kenny's Ghost. Exo is also putting the pressure on the Haas of XRT inside, going down into Ascari now. But All Gold has got past Kenny's Ghost. Missed that overtake, I'm sorry. All Gold up to P6. And a 2.5 second buffer to close on Smugget in a Ferrari in front of him. Bird leads from Captain Morgan, XRT inside and Exo. I think Exo is the closest for a move. We'll go on board with the McLaren and that's him up to P3. XRT inside dropping like a stone. Jelly is catching, he's knocked a second off that lap, so Jelly will be catching to your main pack. And there you go, fastest lap, 1:22.5 for Jelly with them 4 lap old halves. So good to see Jelly on the move, closing that gap. getting within 20 seconds of P7's Kenny Ghost, his teammate in the Mercedes. Kenny's Ghost and All Gold are your closest battle. And to Ascari, Red Bull lead the Mercedes up to the top where the Aston Martin, which is the Parabolica first from Captain Morgan, No Beard, XO, XRT inside are your top four. Smugget 2 seconds adrift, and Smugget's in the pits. Should be putting the what's he going to do? He's putting a set of hards on. And, whether he's picked up on Jelly having set the fastest lap on hards, I don't know, but Jelly is going to take P7 away from Smugget. So battle on at the back with the Mercedes and the Ferrari. Jelly and Smugget will battle each other now, and hopefully close up to the back of the field without further ado. But, Bird still leads, but his lead isn't as handsome as it was. Captain Morgan within 6/10 of Bird. XO also in there, and they've put a 2-second gap now between XRT inside in P4. Himself is 4 seconds ahead of All Gold in P5. Kenny's Ghost, Jelly and Smugget coming out the field. But we're on board with XO, who's chasing down Captain Morgan, who's chasing down Bird as inside pits. We'll have a look at what Mr. Inside has to offer. A set of hards for Inside. It certainly is. Inside will get out before, I'm pretty sure he will get out before the Mercedes of Jelly, or will he? Yes, he will. Just. That's the Haas in P6. Captain Morgan, though, visually catching the back of the Aston Martin. Both these, well, all the top four are on hards. Then we've got Kenny's Ghost on the mediums in P5, yet to pit. Captain Morgan definitely closed the gap on Bird as Jelly picks up his third pen. And so good little battle on now for P6. XRT inside Jelly and Smugget. But we'll catch hold of those in a minute as Bird, Captain Morgan, XO head to the start, finish straight for lap 22. XO, Captain Morgan though chasing down the Aston Martin. XO in P3. All Gold in P4. Yet to pit All Gold and Kenny's Ghost also yet to pit in P5. Then we've got this battle with XRT inside Jelly and Smugget looking from Smugget's Ferrari. Jelly's going for a move on XRT inside. Smugget has got boxed in, can't go anywhere. Goes to the inside and nice respectable driving from inside and Smugget. No contact made. Has to go a little bit more before Smugget can make a place up through inside. Oh, Jelly! Ooh, and we were on board and we were lucky to witness that there. XRT inside broke. Smugget reactions were very, very good. Would have been a big smash there if he hadn't taken evasive action. And that's top marks there to Smugget with his reactions there as the Haas broke quite suddenly. Bird then leads from Captain Morgan and EXO. Captain Morgan having a sneaky little look on the Aston Martin, but not quite close enough. It's EXO in P3, then all gold and Kenny's Ghost. And then the battle between Smudgate inside and Jelly on board with Smudgate going into start-finish straight, and you can see visually catching to the back of the Haas, who's not got DRS on Jelly. That's Smudgate up to P7. Jump on board with the Haas. And on to your leader. Third and all gold with EXO just keeping it within that DRS of the Red Bull. Now out of it. Here comes Red Bull. Cheeky look on the outside of Bird. Side by side, going around the final corner. Bird's got the inside line, slight advantage. We'll jump on board with Captain Morgan as Jelly and Smudgate change positions. But there goes Captain Morgan on Bird, looking from the current of EXO. So that's Captain Morgan, new race leader. On board with XRT inside now. Both Jelly and inside will have DRS on Smudgate. Smudgate's got over, well, not now, lost 50% of battery. We hold on to P6, or we're going to have a DRS war between these three. The XRT inside is out of it, but side by side, Mercedes and the Ferrari. Mercedes has the inside line, but again, respectful driving. And that's Smudgate keeping hold of P6. To Captain Morgan though, the new race leader, going under the really scruffy bridge into Ascari. That's the Red Bull leads the Aston Martin, leading the McLaren. Not much separating these three now. Kenny's Ghost, I think, is due a trip to the pits. These three actually will go on board with EXO, looking at the back of the Aston Martin. He's looking at the back of Captain Morgan's Red Bull. Up to Bird, and there you go, 212 miles an hour for the Aston Martin. And EXO sneaks past Captain Morgan. That's a lovely move from EXO. That outside line works the street. All gold is in P4. Kenny's Ghost, P5, Smudgate, Jelly are inside, on board with inside, looking along the side of Jelly's Mercedes, but unfortunately not close enough. But Smudgate certainly puts a big enough gap between himself and Jelly to keep hold of P6, and he actually closing the gap on us. EXO gets past Bird, coming into small Ascari onto the straight before Parabolica. That's EXO. Quite caught me by surprise taking there. I thought it might have waited for the DRS here on the starting straight, or is he going to go in the pits? No. So we're on board with Captain Morgan then, looking at the back of the Aston Martin. He's making the move on EXO. That's Bird back in front, EXO tucks in behind. And Red Bull off Captain Morgan sits in behind the McLaren as XRT inside passes Jelly. Is it close enough to Smudgate? I would say no, as Kenny's Ghost goes in the pits, exchanges them mediums for hards, and Smudgate's got past him. XRT inside's got past him, and Jelly, is Jelly going to pass him? Oh, Jelly's out. Jelly has retired, unfortunate. So we're down to 7, led by Bird with Exo and Captain Morgan enjoying the little cells here. But Exo's gone a little bit wide and loses a place to Captain Morgan. Was that a slight loss of concentration from the McLaren? Exo is right out of DRS on Captain Morgan as well now, so all that battling needs to be done again. But yard drivers staying out. All gold, I'm sure, will follow suit. Yeah, 26 laps now these hards have done. And your race leader is Bird from Captain Morgan. Exo, all gold. Smugget coming into the start finish straight, completing his 26th lap. Starts his 27th, and I think he's got a good enough advantage over XRT inside. Kenny's Ghost is at the back, having just put on fresh hards. Things will start to sort themselves out once your top 4 have pitted as well. Them top 4 haven't pitted yet. The other 3 have. Smugget inside and Kenny's Ghost all have pitted. Exo catching up to Captain Morgan quite slowly after that mistake. Captain Morgan chasing down the Aston Martin of Bird coming into Parabolica. As we are just over 50% of your race done on board with the Red Bull. Bulls on the outside of the Aston Martin, and that is the Red Bull in the lead. Bird settles into P2. Exo looking back at the Aston Martin and Red Bull of Bird. All Gold's in the pits, putting mediums on is our All Gold on the faster tyre. So it's gone for the undercut on your top 3 as All Gold. Smugget going to get past him. Yes, he does. Smugget up to P4. XRT inside up to P5, and All Gold settles into 6th. But remember, he has got the faster medium tyre on. Kenny's Ghost in P7. 16 valuable points to Mercedes after teammate Jelly retired into pits. Your leaders coming into Ascari. That's Bird and your race leader Captain Morgan. Excellent, getting slightly closer onto that mistake. Just the one battle inside DRS, and that's the one we are on now. And they're both going in the pits. Is Exo going in? Yeah, Exo's in. So your leading 3 are all in the pits. Smugget coming down into Parabolica. Don't think he's going to get the lead, but definitely closing up on your top 3. Who out your top 3 is going to be first out. Now this will balance everything out, but your top 3 are all on mediums. And Captain Morgan gets out first from Bird and Exo. Smugget has sneaked past Exo for P3. So all this is it. We've gone from one extreme to the other. Hardly any battles on track to everybody within, near enough everybody within DRS each other. Captain Morgan gets out the pits in front on the medium tyre with Bird in P2. Smugget on the hards in P3 with Exo on the mediums. P4. XRT inside on hards in P5, and then All Gold on fresh mediums in P6 with Kenny's Ghost 5.9 seconds adrift in P7. But 16 valuable points if he doesn't make any places up. No pressure on. Bird though pushing the Red Bull of All Gold to the limits, and Exo's also pushing the Ferrari of Smugget coming into Parabolica on lap 29 of 53 as Kenny's Ghost picks up a penalty coming out of Ascari. Here comes Bird. Smugget and Exo side by side. We'll go on board with Exo and Smugget as Bird and Captain Morgan safely negotiate turns 1 and 2. XRT inside in P5, all go P6, and Kenny's Ghost just coming into turn 1 and 2 now. And that gap is closing between himself and All Gold. Closest battle on track at the moment is Smugget on Exo. The gaps are starting to show a little bit now. All Gold on XRT inside. Nice line there from All Gold. Cutting them corners. 2 lap old mediums versus 9 lap old hards, and here comes All Gold. Definitely on song tonight is the Red Bull driver, and that's All Gold up to P5. Just 3 seconds to catch Smugget in P4. Back on to your leaders coming in to the start-finish straight, led by Bird, who has got a nice healthy gap now between himself and Captain Morgan in P2, and a fastest lap to boot for Bird, a 1:21.454. Captain Morgan, Exo, Smugget looking down the start finish straight into turns 1 and 2. Here comes All Gold and XRT inside with Kenny's Ghost not that far behind, but Bird definitely put the bit between his teeth now and pulling away from the Red Bull of Captain Morgan on a lap 31 of 53. XRT inside and All Gold battling for P5. Bird leaving him into Ascari on lap 31. Captain Morgan in P2. Small gap then to Exo in P3 with Smugget and All Gold not far behind. XRT inside pushing the Red Bull of All Gold with Kenny's Ghost not far behind. So still all 7 cars in that same shot, looking from the Parabolica back down the track to Ascari. Things still close as Bird leads them out on lap 32. Captain Morgan and Exo not far behind the Red Bull. XRT inside and All Gold. Hard braking there from the Haas. Kenny's Ghost dropping a little bit of time now to them top 6. Was 5.7 now at 6.5, so losing a little bit of time is Kenny, but he'd be safe to know if he carries on as he is. 16 lovely points for the Mercedes team after Jelly retired. Bird then 2.5 seconds is his lead, but significantly less than 2.5 seconds is the gap between Exo and Captain Morgan. Smugget is in P4 with All Gold and inside just behind him. With into Parabolica then. It's Bird from Captain Morgan with Exo for close company. Go on board with Exo chasing down the Red Bull. There is move done. Exo up to P2, Captain Morgan P3. Then we've got Smugget, All Gold, XRT inside. Can't make any impression on All Gold. Kenny's Ghost on the start finish straight, following your leading 6 cars. But Bird leads them out with a 3-second advantage over Exo, who's got Captain Morgan for company coming into small Ascari. Still quite a while to go in this race. I can see another pit stop, I think. Perhaps drivers might opt for the soft tyre later on, but the skies are looking quite overcast here at Monza. I'm wondering if the game's going to throw a curveball in this race and give us a bit of rain and something a little bit different. Bird though, that gap 2.82 XO and Captain Morgan. Go on board with Captain Morgan. He's chasing down the McLaren. Not quite close enough and stands on his brakes. Slugget and All Gold with inside following them through. And on Henry's Ghost, definitely losing time. 8 seconds is the gap between himself and inside. Captain Morgan chasing down McLaren. We'll have a look at your penalties. We've just got Kenny's Ghost on 3 and position changes. Bird up 1, XO up 6, Captain Morgan's up 2, and then we've got Smugget down 1, All Gold down 4, XRT inside where he was, and Kenny's Ghost where he was. Captain Morgan though putting some pressure on the McLaren as they are losing time to the Aston Martin of Bird in front. All Gold and XRT inside of caught to back of Smugget, so this could be interesting going down the start finish straight. On board with Captain Morgan chasing down the McLaren as All Gold has already got past Smugget. With XRT inside looking on as Captain Morgan does get to turn 1 before, and Smugget has regained. Oh, this is going to be All Gold and Smugget. Ooh, close, but all look good with London War, and XRT inside also gets past All Gold. Maybe if we could just gone behind Smugget, things would have been different. But inside, on the inside of Smugget, good stuff. Though 4 seconds advantage over Captain Morgan. Looking down from Ascari, here comes the Aston Martin with Captain Morgan and XO. Then we've got Smugget inside and All Gold. Oh dear, All Gold with the move coming into Ascari, up to P5 for the Red Bull. Definitely got a bit between his teeth as All Gold tonight, and XRT inside looking. Coming into Parabolica, inside had to yield before the corner. Is XO close enough to Captain Morgan? Nope. Smugget, All Gold. Is All Gold going to be close enough to Smugget? Coming in 2-1 now, looking at them coming in. Smugget will have the inside line here now. Then will All Gold get the yes? We've got the acceleration out of turn 2, and that is the Red Bull back in P4, trying to chase down the 7 seconds between himself and XO. Smugget is not letting him go into small Scary. XRT inside also sniffing. Kenny's Ghost now is within 5.5 seconds of inside. It was considerably more than that. Kenny chasing down that gap to Bird. Nice 4-second lead over Captain Morgan and XO. Looking from the back of these two, well, looking from the front now from Parabolica to that start finish, to the straight before. Coming on to the start finish straight now after Parabolica. I'm sure XO will be making a move on the Red Bull. Let's have a look. Watch that speedo, centre screen, out the bottom, 90. 200, there's the pass, touch 211 did XO. Now we've got Red Bulls P3 and 4, which is handsome reward for the Red Bulls, who will definitely move up to P2 if things stay as they are, as Williams do not have any survivors. 40 points will only put them, I mean, if the Aston Martin fails to finish, well, then the Red Bulls will go top. It's all go for in the constructors. Unfortunately, Bird is running away with the drivers, but still, there's after tonight another 5 rounds, so still just 2/3 of the season done. Captain Morgan looking very healthy for a move on the McLaren, which will unfold in a couple of seconds time. And inside, and Smugget very close, as Allgold has put a little bit of a gap on them. But there we go. There's XO being passed by Captain Morgan, and we'll go on to XRT inside on his quest to go to P5, getting past Smugget. That's us up to P5, chasing down Allgold, 1.5 seconds ahead. Now, yeah, that sky very, very overcast. So Bird definitely switched the knob since he put these medium tyres on. Within 9 laps, he has got past the race leader when they come out of the pits. So he's near enough 7/10 a lap quicker than these cars we're featuring on at the moment. See Allgold inside and Smugget going through Ascari in the background. Say Bird has gone. Captain Morgan in P2. XO I don't think is close enough at all. We'll move down to Smugget and XRT inside. Smugget sneaks in behind the Haas. 202, just touches 202 miles an hour. It does the Ferrari. And that's Smugget up to P5 again. So still chasing down the Red Bull of Captain Morgan. Having a cracking race, having set. No, he didn't actually. It was Allgold set the pole. I'm sorry, I forgot that. Inside has got past Smugget. Smugget chasing down the ass, pushing him along into the straight before Ascari. DRS will kick in. We'll go on board with Smugget. Has he got enough momentum to get past? No, unfortunately he hasn't. So has to yield just before Ascari. And we'll go up to your leaders who are coming down the start-finish straight for the 40th time. And it's Bird who leads by 5.7 seconds with Captain Morgan under pressure from the McLaren of XO. Go on board with XO. 208 miles an hour from the McLaren. As Captain Morgan tucks in P3. Allgold out on his own in P4. Smugget has pitted. I'm wondering whether Smugget will put a set of softs on. Kennis goes up to P6 and Smugget is putting mediums on. Now then. And that sky does look ominous. Looks full of moisture. Fresh mediums for Smugget. Let's see what the Ferrari can do. Currently in P7 with 13 laps to go. Kennis goes with his second penalty. Well, that'll be news to Smugget's ears as he tries to close down that gap between himself and Kenny. But Bird coming down the straight before Parabolica with a nice handsome 5.6 second lead over EXO in P2. Captain Morgan in P3 with all gold, having accomplished the bends of Ascari for the 40th time. City inside, and things are getting quite stretched now. Bird from EXO and Captain Morgan coming at the end of the start finish straight on a lap 41. It's McLaren leading the Red Bull. Let's have a quick look at our penalties, and 6 seconds for Kenny's Ghost. And we'll have a look at position changes. Bird up 1, EXO up 6, Captain Morgan up 2, Orgo down 3, XRT inside up 1, Kenny's Ghost up 1, and Smugget down 4. All drivers have made one stop except for Smugget, who's made 2. Having put these fresh mediums on to see the race out. So your only battle on track, as Smugget has knocked nearly 3 seconds off Kenny's Ghost. Mercedes, having put them fresh mediums on, 15 lap older hards for Kenny. So with 11 laps to go, Smugget could be a favourite to get past Kenny for P6. Go on board with Captain Morgan chasing down the McLaren RXO, but unfortunately nowhere near close enough. All gold though, the Red Bull teammate is in P4 with XRT inside P5. Kenny's Ghost P6, and Smugget now just 14 seconds adrift in P7. The Bird can relax a little bit, take it easy-ish. 5.5 seconds lead in the Aston Martin over EXO in P2. Captain Morgan though has dropped a little bit, and there's a little bit of a gap between himself and EXO now, and that's it battle wise. So unless there's a drop of rain or a safety car, can't see things getting much more exciting than they are right now. But up to now, being as there's only 9 cars entered, I mean, there was 8 after lap, after Phil retired. We've not done too bad. It's not been that bad of a race. We've had something to commentate on. But we are down to 10 laps to go. Ooh, so slight mistake there from the McLaren. It still holds on to P2. The Bird maintaining this gap between himself and EXO at around 6 seconds. Does go a little bit under and a little bit over, but it's averaging around 6 seconds. Captain Morgan is losing a few tenths to EXO now. That's gap is down to nearly 2 seconds. All gold is 7 seconds adrift in P4. 7 seconds adrift of all gold is inside. And we've got 4.5 second gap to Kenny's Ghost in P6. And Smugget is down to 13 seconds after pitting 4 fresh mediums 3 laps ago. We're down to single digit laps remaining. So we started off with 9 drivers tonight. Scar was an early retiree after a lap after his game was playing up. And then we lost Jelly, who retired in the pits. And seen things not going his way. See, the gap between Bird and EXO has now gone up to 6.5 seconds, and the gap between EXO and Captain Morgan has stayed relatively the same. As I say, I've said it a few times tonight, P7, 16 points, 16 handy points for the Ferrari team, currently in P6. They won't overtake the McLaren, but they will put, I think, a healthy gap between themselves and the Haas. Captain Morgan then crosses the line for the 44th time, onto his 45th lap. All gold just done the same. Inside. Continues on his merry way in P5 with Kenny's Ghost with 6 seconds of penalties, and let's smug it. We're going into start-finish straight for the start of his 45th lap. It's that curb quite hard. Did smug it there. Birdo still maintaining that 6-second lead. Ooh, is that a bit of lag there or a mistake? I don't know. Might be a moment of lack of concentration for the Aston Martin. He's been out on his own in front for quite a while now. 16 laps since they pitted, and he come out just behind Captain Morgan. But didn't take him long to get fast. Just let me plug my ear set in again. Bear with. Recharging. Got myself a nice cold can of Cruz de Campo. Lovely pint of beer. Recommend it to anybody. Lovely, especially on a night like tonight, quite humid night here in Cheshire. After the race finishes in a few minutes' time, I'll be going outside, sitting in the back garden with me can of Cruz Campo, and obviously listening. Well, not obviously, but just to let you know, we have got owls on our road. Been full vocal for the past week. 3 of them there is. They all sit in 3 different trees, cooing at each other or whatever noise owls make. Hoot. And it's constant throughout the night. Actually helps you fall off sleep after a bit. Bird then, still that 6-second lead over EXO in a P2 in the McLaren, with Captain Morgan heading to Red Bulls by 6 seconds. All gold in P4. Had a good race as all gold set pole, and continued to battle throughout until that pit move on, or 19 laps ago. XRT inside had quite a lonely race this last half of the race, and has got Kenny's Ghost, who's closed down considerably in the Mercedes on the Haas, down to 2.5 seconds. But Kenny does have 6 seconds of penalties, which is not helping him hold on to P6, as Smugit has closed down to under 10 seconds now with 5 laps to go. Sadie negotiates Parabolica. There comes Smugget in the Ferrari. Round Parabolica on to his 48th lap. Somebody. Oh, Exo picks up a penalty. That will be music to Captain Morgan's eyes. He's just 3 seconds adrift of the McLaren. If he could just put a little bit of a spur on, he could gain P2 on the podium. Interesting. With 5 laps remaining, but that gap is lengthening a bit now. It's up to 3.4. Needs to get within 3 seconds of Exo to inherit P2. Allgold isn't far behind either. He's only 5.5 seconds behind Captain Morgan. XRT inside now has lost a couple of seconds to Allgold. Kenny's Ghost just 2 seconds behind inside now, but as I say, keep saying, he is carrying them 6 seconds of penalties. Smugget down to 8.8 on his quest to take P6 from Kenny. Bird then coming into Little Ascari for the 49th time of 53. So with them 3 seconds of penalties is safe-ish at the moment. He's got 6/10 of a second spare over Captain Morgan with those penalties. All gold. XRT inside coming into 2 3. And split is 4/10 down on his fastest. Sector 1. Kenny's Ghost chasing down the Haas. Smugget can't just break this 8 seconds gap between himself and Kenny. Let me just make sure it still is 6 seconds. Yes, it's still 6 seconds of penalties. Exo has increased his gap over Captain Morgan to 4 seconds, so on board with Smugget. 7.8 seconds adrift now. Bird around turn 2 has a 6 second advantage over Exo in P2. Captain Morgan falling a bit further behind Exo now. So Gold seems to be catching his teammate. Inside dropped to 12.5 seconds now. Kenny's Ghost still around the 2 seconds behind inside. Smugget 7.5 seconds. Bird though going underneath that bridge that really needs a good painting. Under 6 seconds is his lead over Exo, who's pulling out the stops to put that 3 second gap between himself and Captain Morgan when he picked up a penalty a couple of laps ago. From a safe P2 to a hairy scary P2. Kenny's Ghost is getting closer to the Haas of inside. Smugget also getting closer to Kenny's Ghost. Bird then on lap 51, just going around turn 3. I'll have a look at his split time for sector 1, and he's at 8/10 slower. Exo's 1.3 tenths slower. No, he's 8/10 slower. Let's have a look at Captain Morgan coming up to a split. And he's only 0.09 of a second slower is Captain Morgan, so he's not losing much time on these 22 lap old mediums is Captain Morgan. Gold in P4. Let's go on with the Haas of inside. We'll come to his split now. He's just half a second slower, and Kenny is just a 10th slower. Smugget coming up, and he's 8/10 slower than his fastest lap. But it's catching at a rate of knots. The Mercedes Kenny's Ghost. Bird coming around Parabolica now to start his 52nd lap. As is EXO. Captain Morgan now 5 seconds adrift of the McLaren. Unless something unfortunate happens to the McLaren, he's going to have to settle for P3 on the podium. It's Captain Morgan. Kenny's Ghost definitely catching to the Haas of inside. He's not in DRS, and he hasn't got as much battery as the Haas driver. Well, that gap is coming down as he's in the slipstream, coming into turn 1. The end of that start-finish straight of lap 52. Say, no safety cars tonight. No VSCs either. Will Kenny get within DRS at the end of this lap on XRT Inside's Haas? It made no odds because he's got 6 seconds of penalties, but sorry for coughing down the mic. So he's inside DRS of the Haas now, so we could see a move as Bird has started his last lap, lap 53 of 53, just coming down into Small Scary for the final time. So going around turn 3 on his quest to catch his compatriot, but nowhere near close enough. 6.4 seconds is the gap. Captain Morgan, no. Could have done with being within 3 seconds of EXO to inherit that P2 on the podium, but unfortunately has lost time this last few laps. All gold catching up to the back of teammate, but XRT inside and Kenny's Ghost, even though Kenny might pass inside, he still won't gain P5 from the Haas. But EXO, now then, that's put, now then, that's put a cat amongst the pigeons. Captain Morgan has also picked up a time penalty. That's cost him 3rd place as Bird crosses the line for your win. EXO has got P2. Captain Morgan was 2 corners away from that podium. But all gold's going to inherit P3. He is. More gold has got on the podium after a setting pole. Captain Morgan has to go down and settle for P4. I bet he's devastated. He could have had P2, picked up a penalty at Ascari, and that's dropped him down to P4. XRT inside gets past the line for Kenny's Ghost, and Smudgate will have to settle for P7. Oof. You know, it wasn't a bad race, that, being there's only 9 drivers. It went quicker than I thought. EXO with the driver of the day on the game, but he's not going to get it off me. That driver of the day for me goes to Bird. He was faultless. It's not very often I give driver of the day to somebody that's picked up penalties, and Bird didn't pick up any penalties today, so he's getting my driver of the day. And here are your confirmed positions. Bird with fastest lap as well, a 1:21.464. Is that 5:4? But there you go. South Africans dominate 5 places in the top 6. Bird with the win from EXO in P2. All gold is your final place on the podium with Captain Morgan P4. Devastated. XRT inside is P5. He'll be pleased with that. Kenny's Ghost is P6. And the last driver over the line was Smudgate, earning 16 valuable points for the Ferraris. and Jelly and Scar retired quite early on in the race. 7 finishes out of the 9 stars, and that's us done and dusted here at Monza. Be sure to join me tomorrow night for Monday at DRS with their championships in Canada. Then we're back with the managers on Wednesday at Bahrain. Friday sees us with UCR going to Yas Marina in Abu Dhabi. Don't know what RFL are doing on Saturday, but Sunday we're back here with the ERC Masters at Bahrain. Well, thank you for joining me tonight. If anybody has joined me, I know Sophie was there earlier on, but thanks very much for joining me. I hope to speak to you soon and see you soon. Tomorrow night I'm with DRS. Please feel free to drop in, have a little bit of a chat, and we'll bid you farewell tonight. Thanks for joining me, and God